Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code OFFSGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old Fashioned Football.
Make this deal right now, you pancake eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you listen to, this is JMark. You can find me in the X at JMark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going, to talk about the AFC, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mir. Mark, how you doing today?
I don't know. I was about to say I'm doing good, but I feel like just a mess.
Just a mess.
I got sunburn. Just sitting. I took my computer outside. Was it yesterday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. This week has been that way. And ever since, I don't know, I'm dealing with allergies. Crazy right now. And I just want to be out of my skin.
I completely understand the allergy thing. I got the first mowing in the past 2 days. And
this is your fault.
This is
we
my
have
fault.
Our windows open. It's so nice right now. We are having amazing weather. We have our windows open. This is your fault. You're bringing you're getting all that stuff in the air, and I'm not kidding.
Folks,
I feel like I am covered in hives.
It is
this
my fault. We got the mowing in, and when I was doing the UFO gambling podcast, make sure you check that out right before this one. I noticed that I kind of got some puffy eyes from my from mowing. So
the puffiness is real.
You guys are just going to have to deal with the puffiness. Also, if you're in the chat, which I did see Nick Fortune, NASCAR Gambling Podcast, RD, and Wesley. What's up?
Everybody.
Let's throw these on here. We are in a completely new streaming platform. So this is all new to us. So
I've already made mistakes.
If I've already made mistakes, if it doesn't look right, let us know. We are going to play around with the theme a little bit, whatnot. I see the changes that I made with Kramer. I met with Kramer yesterday. We made some changes on this. I see that they did not stick. So I'll have to figure out why. I'll talk with him about that. But yeah, we're learning. I mean, as you can see now, it's different when you put stuff on screen, like Nick Fortune saying, fun fact, my boss got chickens and one of the coworkers named one of the chickens Josh Allen. Found out yesterday that Josh Allen
Why
passed
did he pass
away.
away? Do you have these details?
And how did he taste?
The Mark household over here almost got chickens this year.
We did.
We decided that's a stress we can eliminate from our lives this year. We're going to hold off a year with the bird flu, all this stuff going on. People are they also didn't have the variety. I want a variety of chickens. I want colorful chickens. I want rainbow eggs. So
oh my gosh,
I don't want the basic chicken.
Put them in
go
some
get at
dye.
Bongars right now. No, I want the pretty chickens. My sister had a pet chicken growing up.
That
Mr.
doesn't
Peeps,
surprise me, Mr. Peeps.
who was a female, a chicken. It was not a rooster.
Mr.
Peeps. But he was named Mr. Peeps originally.
Fair enough.
That amputated a wing at one point. He was a pet. He was not. It was anyway. I want that kind of chicken.
Okay.
We can't get those. But anyway, I've really derailed us.
Yeah, that's okay.
Back.
That's all right. It should be shown on your screen right now. Q&A. Let us know who you think the best AFC team right now is.
I like this.
I have my opinion. Yeah, we got all sorts of new cool stuff with this. I have my opinion, but I'll save it for a little bit.
Save it for later.
Yeah, we'll talk about these teams, and then I'll ask yours, and I'll give out mine. I also want to let you know, just while we're on it, because we've got new features, and I think they're cool. A lot of people, how can we help support you guys? How can we help support you? Showing up to the podcast or downloading it on Spotify, Apple, that kind of stuff. That helps a ton. Watching on YouTube helps a ton. getting merch helps a ton too. We got merch in the
That's
merch
swag.
store. We do have swag. Now, I wish I could drop the prices. We don't get any money from this. This just lets the bosses know that, hey, people like this show so much that they want to wear it. But yeah, we got all sorts of swag. So in different options,
The
different
hoodies are
colors.
comfy.
The hoodies are I think the t-shirts are really comfy
All of
too.
it. All
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just guy colors. We got girl colors as well.
Obviously.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see them right now. We got a QR code that takes you right to it.
You're
I
just
guess
geeking out over here.
I know it's cool. I thought it was pretty cool. We're talking AFC free agency changes today.
Yes, we did NFC last week.
Yeah.
So
You can check that out. April 29th, we have a distiller episode we're excited about. Texas Whiskey will be on there. They've been in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So I'm excited to talk and see if they are Packer or Vikings fans or where their allegiance falls. And then we got a fun little distillery episode coming up. I guess sort of a distillery or more of a whiskey place coming up with the SGP guys.
yes.
That's in May that we're going to be looking at that. Before we get to talking AFC, just got to let you know that Augusta is right around the corner and the SGPN is back with the Splash Sports for a big contest up to $30,000 in prizes and only a $25 entry fee, not free. Yeah, $25 entry fee. You can get in today at splashsports.com. That's /SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. I struggle with that one all the time. Tune into the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Small Show, and most importantly, the Bottom Line Bombs with CJ Sullivan, co-host on the UFL Gambling Podcast for all the Masters picks. All right.
You're not wrong. $25 entry and then it's free.
Yeah. Just your $25 entry
Entry
and
free.
it's free from there. Absolutely. All right. Should we talk and just jump right into this?
Sure.
I say we start with the AFC North. It seems to be the strongest division. Well, maybe not so much anymore. I don't know. It is a strong
We'll
division.
start there though.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the reins. We'll start there.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to start right with the Ravens, the team that won the division last year, who really didn't do a whole lot. They signed DeAndre Hopkins. Not a lot of defensive changes to talk about. So I guess for recap, they're quiet. I mean, they did re-sign their offensive tackle, Ronnie Stanley. They re-signed fullback Patrick Ricard. Very few fullbacks left, it feels like, in the NFL, like actual fullbacks. He is one of them, and he is good. Biggest questions for me. I don't know if I have a lot for them, except just can they keep performing at a high level?
I don't know.
Because when Lamar is healthy, they play well.
Yes, they do.
We saw Derrick Henry come in last year and played really well for them. Like, he was a stud for them. I know there are questions on, well, he's older. Can he do it still? He did it still. Now they add DeAndre Hopkins. That's interesting to me because that's another older guy that maybe wasn't playing as well.
Maybe it works out here.
Maybe it'll work out here.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to be the number one guy, though. That's the interesting thing. I mean, this is still going to be a running offense. Lamar and Derrick Henry are still going to run. So it's going to be interesting to see how he contributes and does. Interesting fantasy piece, too, because I bet he doesn't get drafted high.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
No.
And I would target him. So that's the Ravens. Draft needs. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about
what are you
that.
feeling like they're needing there? Where do they need to focus?
They could use a guard, defensive back, and maybe another edge rusher. I mean, their defense is pretty solid, but you need depth always. There's always injuries that happen in the NFL. It's a violent sport, so you need depth.
Right. Well, I'll break down the Steelers for you guys.
All righty.
Some notable, I guess, additions on their offense. Quarterback Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. We got to say it's notable because as of right now, he looks like the starter. I mean, they have not signed Aaron Rodgers yet.
No, nope. And that's one of my like biggest questions from this is, are they going to sign? Where is Rodgers going to land? I think that's the question just across the board.
A dark cave is my answer, but we'll see.
They also traded for DK Metcalf on defense, cornerback Darius Slay. I feel like when your most newsworthy additions outside of the trade from Metcalf are Mason Rudolph and Darius Slay, it's just
not good.
subpar. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, again, like, is Aaron Rodgers going to sign with them? And then, well, what are they doing at running back? Because for those of you who don't remember this, like Najee Harris, he's gone to the Chargers. So what are they going to do there? Can DK Metcalf and George Pickens, like these two hot-headed wide receivers, are they going to play well in the same wide receiver room?
I've seen a lot of clips where it's like DK Metcalf and Pickens 10 yards down the field, and it's like a clip of a guy just punching the shit out of somebody because they do tend to get physical and get angry.
Are we going to see a lot of fights on the field?
I think so. I think so. So draft wise,
Quarterback.
yeah.
Does Rudolph do it for them?
I think even if they sign Rodgers, quarterback, Rodgers is not
Rodgers
a long-term thing.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
None of their options are. Running back obviously is a big need. Maybe an offensive tackle and a safety.
Yeah. I was surprised they didn't re-sign Fields or Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
That
they're like
that
scrapping the
surprised
table.
me.
They're like, get these guys out of here.
That's right. Wesley says, "Let's go Bills." I have a feeling he believes that is the best team. So, Pat McNuggets kept beating Josh Allen. Is RD's guess here. My mother also says Bills. So, yeah, and I don't know.
So if you're gonna, where I'm just noticing the chat, what you've done. But anyway, continue.
Oh yeah, apparently with the chat. When I shared those, it did that. I was
Yes.
really confused too going through the chat here. Channing Brown
We're
saying,
spamming ourselves.
right? Channing Brown, how's it going? Said missed UFL, but caught this at least. Yeah, and we're going to be talking division prices too. Get some bets in early. And I think Splash Sports should let you adjust that read. Splashsports.com/SGPN is too much for me. I'm just going to throw that out there. Let's go ahead.
Maybe I just take that line. For
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. And see how you fare. The challenges.
Next.
Josiah checking in. How's it going,
Hey,
Josiah?
Josiah.
Welcome.
Long time no talk.
Yeah. Let's go over the Bengals.
Okay.
The biggest news was they extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for a total of their 4 years each for a total of $277 million, which doesn't leave a lot of room to do much else. Trey Hendrickson wants traded out. I saw the lady that I don't even remember her position. She's a position within the Bengals, has come out and said some really interesting stuff about how, well, we love Trey and we hope that we can make it work and whatnot, but there are priorities and blah, blah, blah. And this is a guy that's been their best defensive player. He has said that he's not asking to become the highest paid edge rusher. And he was quite put off. And this was after he'd already asked for a trade, and then they come do that. Now he's obviously really wants a trade. But anyways, extending the two wide receivers was about it for them. So I guess the main questions are the receivers worth the dollars? I think Jamar Chase is. I don't think T. Higgins is. I think it was an overpay.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money for 4 years. Yeah, that's a huge cap hit. And then, do they trade Hendrickson? How's that go? If they do, I think for draft needs, they're going to need an edge rusher for sure. So, college has been whooping Josiah's butt, by the way, and Channing coming in with the cheers there. So, cheers. We are going to get to whiskey as well.
Yeah, we've got I'm really excited for this one.
Oh, me too.
Did we talk about what it was? You did not ask me what we're
gosh.
drinking today. How did we get to the Browns? And you haven't even asked what we're drinking today.
Before we talk about the Browns, let's talk about Spirit. Miranda, what are we drinking today?
We're drinking Sagamore rye, but it's their Manhattan finish.
Yes.
We've wanted to. We haven't tried their just regular.
No.
So we're kind of skipping ahead here, but they're a whiskey I've been interested in, and there's a lot coming up about them. So
yeah, we'll talk about that more.
Give too many spoiler alerts.
Spoiler alert.
But okay, back to the Browns.
Yeah.
They have added offensive tackle Cornelius Lucas. They traded away Dorian Thompson-Robinson for Kenny Pickett. And then they've added defensive tackle Malik Collins. In the they extended Myles Garrett.
Yeah, which was a thing where he asked for a trade.
Mhm.
Won't play in Cleveland anymore, but apparently they gave enough money that he
Yes.
did.
So some of my biggest questions from what the Browns have done is who's quarterbacking this team?
Yeah.
Watson will likely open the season injured, but even if healthy,
He's done
how
for.
much time does he have left?
Oh, he's done for.
And then Kenny Pickett, is he going to be the guy, or are we going to be talking a rookie? I don't know. That's just a major question mark for the Browns. They do have second pick in the draft and a decent handful of picks, so I feel like they're going to be looking to take advantage of that.
Make sure you check out I just released a 3-round mock. I had a 7-round a month ago. I got a 3-round now, and I actually had them
from 7 to 3,
cutting it back a little bit, getting a little more accurate. So you got to hone in on just those 3. I had him in the second round. I had Jackson Dart falling all the way to the second and them taking him. So some people have said maybe they're going to take Shadur Sanders. I think Shadur is a bust anyways, and then throwing him into this offense. But anyway, talk about their draft needs, I suppose.
Do you know offhand how many picks they have in the first, 3?
I don't know in the first 3 off the top of my head. I think they have 4 or 5 in the first 3.
So, I feel like they could be targeting a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, everything.
Right. They need a lot of help.
Offensive tackle. They could use a cornerback. So
yeah, they could use a lot of help. Let's talk a little division betting.
Yeah. What are we looking at?
Ravens leading it obviously at -130. Bengals at +220. Steelers at +475, and then the Browns way down there at +3,000.
3,000.
Yes, 30-1. Obviously they're not winning it. I don't care who they draft. They're not going to have that kind of turnaround, especially in this division.
Oh, that is such a huge
drop off.
Yeah.
From the Steelers, who have Mason Rudolph as the quarterback. That's how bad it is for the Browns. But you got to expect Mike Tomlin's going to have a winning record. He's been at 500 or over for 20 years, it feels like. I don't know how you don't go with the Ravens again.
They're definitely the top.
Yeah. If you don't want to pay the juice because they're at -130, I do have a fun little parlay of division winners coming up.
Parlays, they drive me nuts because no matter what, one of them's going to miss. I tell you this all the time, and it happens.
Don't put that negative energy out in the air.
So all of our listeners have to pick which one they don't go with and go with the opposite.
That's fair. That's fair. And RD saying Browns throwing all their eggs in the basket of Garrett. It's the Browns are a mess. They are a mess. Before we keep
why they're +3,000.
That is why, appropriately they're appropriately graded there at 3,000. Before we keep going, I want to let you know a little bit about Edge Boost. You ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables but hit your ATM limit? We all know how that feels. Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. With Edge Boost, all your gambling related transactions will always be approved. No more headaches. For you high rollers, that's not me, but for you high rollers, you can move up to the $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account. You can earn cash back rewards up to 0.5%. And all this for no usage fees, no minimum balance. It's a bank account, not a credit card. So there's no approval required or credit checks. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. Set your limits. What are you waiting for? Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet/promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the Masters. Plus, they got props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations. It's easy to deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Get your Dogecoin ready. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back. You giggled at me. What you giggling about over there?
Oh, I don't. Which one?
So I don't know. It was something you laughed at. I don't know what it was. You don't either, obviously.
Well, something.
That's fair. That's fair. Should we just move right on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, AFC East next, who I won't spoil.
We can't agree. We might be agreeing.
We might
Continue.
be agreeing. Well, let's talk about these Bills.
All right.
Who added Joshua Palmer,
Mm-hmm.
added edge rusher Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau, defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi. They did lose Von Miller and traded away cornerback Kair Elam. Yes?
I'm just repeating Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi. It's kind of fun to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
They focus more on their defense than the defensive line. But this team really didn't need a whole lot. I mean, they were a couple games out of the Super Bowl, right? Josh Allen made it work with the receiving core, even though everybody said, oh, hey, they're taking a step back.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Diggs. They lost this, and just got to throw this in here. Because we're talking about the Bills, Cody's got to say, go Patriots. He's a big Patriots fan, hates the Bills. We'll talk about the Patriots next. Josh Allen made these wide receivers look good, even though outside of Khalil Shakir, he didn't get a lot of production. And he keep doing that? That's the biggest question. I think he can. I think Josh Allen's a stud.
He's a beast.
He is. They could use a linebacker, a cornerback, wide receiver, edge rusher in the draft. But, I mean, they're sitting good to take whoever is going to benefit the team the most, I feel like.
Yes. So we want to slide up the Patriots.
Yeah.
Slide them up next.
Yeah, let's do
So I guess offensive wise, they've added wide receiver Stephon Diggs, Morgan Moses, and center Garrett Bradbury. On defense, defensive tackle Milton Williams, cornerback Carlton Davis, edge rusher Harold Landry, linebacker Robert Spillane. We're just gonna keep saying it.
It's bound to be right.
I feel like the Patriots have been very aggressive in the free agency.
Yeah, they were
adding to their offensive line, to their defense. Stephon Diggs could be a good addition, but also I feel let's just get this out of the way. He could be a distraction. Like he seems to be locker room cancer. So is he going to be that for the Patriots?
I see, and I like what the Patriots did outside of that. Now
outside of him,
he can be a great player, but I don't know. I don't know if he's the best thing for a young quarterback. And Cody pointing out, I guess that we shouldn't have breezed over that. Their biggest addition is head coach Mike Vrabel. Him coming back to the Patriots, with the history he's got there, that is going to be very good. And credit to Mike Vrabel. When he was coaching Tennessee, he got a lot of production out of a little. Like, I don't feel like Tennessee had that great of a team outside of Derrick Henry. I mean, this guy had Ryan Tannehill looking successful. So, Vrabel is a good coach.
I was going to say, can he make Drake May take another step forward this year? I
think so. I mean, not to keep plugging my content, but I just releasing tomorrow a article on IDP Plus where Drake May is one of my must draft quarterbacks that people seem to be on the fence about. I think he is going to take that leap forward this year.
Yes, they do have the 4th pick in the draft. I think that they could use, more wide receiver help for May. Yeah, I do like Ramondre Stevenson, but I think they need better production out of the running back position and probably to continue adding to that offensive line.
Yeah, and this is a loaded running back draft class. So I think they can find somebody better than Ramondre. That's the point. I'm not sure which one was the point. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
But you made something.
Probably that Vrabel did a lot with little. Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Jets. The Jets.
Who
added quarterback Justin Fields. I, as a former Fields fan, no, I'm still a Fields fan. As a former Bear that I wanted Fields to stay with us. I hope he fucking destroys the competition. I just hope he succeeds. They added cornerback Brandon Stevens. They didn't do a ton except for release Devontae Adams, release Aaron Rodgers, get the old farts out of there. Sorry, Devontae Adams. I know you're still performing well, but get Rodgers out of there and then add Justin Fields. And can he be the guy for them? That's the biggest question. Or is this just another franchise reset? That's
It kind of feels like a reset.
no. He's there
Okay.
for 2 years.
Okay.
And I think he's going to do well.
I'd like to, like, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see him do well. I feel like he had just so much potential that wasn't being utilized correctly by the Bears.
Right.
It didn't pan out for him.
What are you drafting
the-
him in fantasy football? Put you on the spot.
Not as QB1.
Not as QB1. Okay. I do want to take you back to a little time in 2022
Oh, Jesus.
where Justin Fields finished as the 6th ranked fantasy football quarterback. And last year, remember, he started the first, I think, 6 games for the Steelers before they threw Wilson in there. And he was top 12 in 2 of those. So, I mean, this is, yeah, he started slow. Week 1 and 2 were very slow. And then he was first, I believe. And then he had a 4th place finish.
You can draft him, okay, Justin? You can do that.
I am drafting
Go for him.
Absolutely. The Jets need a wide receiver. They could use offensive and defensive tackles. Fields
What
is
about
there.
quarterback?
Yeah, Fields is there for 2 years. In my mock drafts, I shouldn't tell Cody this. I know he's working on a mock draft. Probably just going to copy it right from me. Just kidding, Cody. I love them
pressing
taking
record now.
right.
No.
I love them taking Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. I don't think Milroe's a great passer, but he's got the same athleticism as Fields to where if Fields got hurt, you don't have to change how your offense runs.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Dolphins?
I
Finish
mean,
this out.
I don't want to, but we probably should.
They added guard James Daniels, linebacker Tyrell Dodson.
Mm-hmm. That's about it, right?
I think so. I mean, it was a quiet free agency for the Dolphins where I feel like they released more impact players than they signed.
Yeah.
A big question around this offense is Tua going to stay healthy?
Right.
Can Tyreek still play at a consistently high level? Can no? You're saying he's done?
I'm saying he's
How
done.
old is he? How old is Tyreek?
I'll look it up real quick while you
Okay.
continue.
But yeah, and like can their defense take a step forward, get better?
He's 31.
Oh.
Even when Tua was healthy last year, he just
I'm
didn't
not
look
talking
the
about
same.
Tua. I'm talking about Tyreek.
No, even when Tua was healthy last year, because a lot of people said
you're saying
Tyreek's
Tyreek
not
didn't
gonna,
say.
Yeah.
I know.
They
It's
said
hard
Tyreek
to wrap
can't
my mind
succeed
around
without.
the fact that he's aging.
Yeah. I think he's still gonna have some good games.
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna be consistent. So Cody asking why do I think he let me post first for yes, we were both given the old 3-rounder mock. So it'll be fun to compare them though, Cody. I'm excited for that. Maybe get a little side action going on it or something. Bet.
All right. Division betting.
Did you do draft needs?
Oh, I didn't.
No? Okay.
So Dolphins, guard, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, cornerback.
Like the guard and offensive tackle, like focus on protecting Tua.
Yeah.
And his noggin.
Got to keep him healthy.
You got to keep him healthy. I talked about the juice for the Ravens, the Bills minus 270 for division betting. That's a lot of juice to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they win it? Absolutely. But that's a lot of juice to pay. So just stay tuned. We got a parlay coming. I got a parlay coming. Otherwise, you got the Patriots at 6-1 plus 600, Dolphins at 6-1. So you're seeing a huge belief in the Patriots. They're stepping up now that their odds are tied with the Dolphins, and the Jets at the bottom plus 1,400, 14-1, not the 30-1 that the Browns are. So real quick before we talk about the next division, Miranda, let's tell everybody a little bit about, Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has a ton of sports, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Plus, it's a great time to get in best ball draft. So make sure you stay tuned. Check out our socials for UFL plays on Underdog. And go sign up with promo code OFF SGPN
Excuse
to
you.
claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Again, that's underdogfantasy.com, promo code OFFSGPN.
Yes, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, not Metwork. Exactly.
Hey, Splash Sports.
Splash Sports. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for the NBA and golf. Picks so good it feels like cheating, but it's not. And building your own model is simple and easy. So all you got to do is over to Rhythm. They got amazing deals going on now. 25% off a monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription, not prescription, though I am prescribing it to you, and I am a doctor according to the John Deere dealer in town. 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50.
I'm on to John Deere. They're like trying to make you feel extra special. Like if we call him a doctor, he's going to come by that tractor.
He absolutely needs a tractor.
I'm putting the stop on that. Little does John Deere know here in town that
yes,
they need to be flattering me.
Right. That's accurate. That's very accurate. Shout out to Jamie checking in. How's it going? Jamie, are you drafting Justin Fields in fantasy football?
Yeah, let us know.
Let's say in a non-dynasty standard redraft league, are you drafting him? And we also asked the chat, who is the best team in the AFC right now? We have not said ours. We got a lot of I guess people saying Bills.
Mm-hmm.
We had Cody sticking with his Patriots.
Before he answers his question on Justin Fields, I'd like to, because I don't know if you heard this, but you had to throw out a 2022 stat where he was QB6.
Yeah, overall.
I don't know.
He ran for like 1,400 yards that year. He may not do that again, but still. Let's move to the AFC South.
Yes, I want to talk about the Texans.
All
Texans.
Right. Sounds good. Fields top 10 quarterback for a redraft. See, Jamie knows.
Okay, fine.
He's with me.
I'm skeptical.
Thank you, Jamie.
I'm skeptical of it. Don't even, Justin. I don't want to hear it. So Texans. Let's talk about the Texans.
Yeah.
They traded for wide receiver Christian Kirk. They trade away tackle Laramie Tunsil and guard Kenyon Green. They traded for guard Ed Ingram. They also signed tackle Cam Robinson and Laken. Yeah. Laken. Again, here I am going to say it like 5 times to convince myself that I'm right. Tomlinson. Laken Tomlinson. Yeah.
That's like really Tomlinson.
Names. There's so many names. Okay. You know me.
Yeah. Well, and Laken Tomlinson, it makes me think of like on Thor. I've been rewatching the Marvel in Order, and he calls Phil Coulson son of Cole. So this is Laken, son of Tomlin.
Son of Tomlin.
Yeah. Not Mike Tomlin, but a Tomlin.
All right. And then on defense, they traded for safety CJ Gardner Johnson, signed defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. They did a lot of trading, the Texans did in this offseason rather than target free agents. I like the trade for wide receiver Christian Kirk, but
I do too.
I mean, will their new offensive line, minus offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil and Kenyon Green, are they going to hold up enough to protect Stroud?
See, I don't think so.
That's kind of like what I'm looking at. I know I worry.
Tunsil is a huge loss, in my opinion. I don't even know if he had that great of a year last year, but he is a solid tackle, and so that worries me.
Yes, I feel like obviously in the draft they need offensive line help.
Yeah, you gotta really protect.
They've got to invest.
Stroud.
So I hope to see them do that. They also might be looking at wide receiver. They should be. They don't have Diggs anymore.
Yeah.
Tank Dell is going to start injured from last year. Nico Collins and Christian Kirk being really the only 2 notable receivers.
Yeah. I don't think Dell will be ready to go. He'll probably start on the PUP, which is out for a week. So I'd like the Kirk move, though. I think Christian Kirk is a savvy receiver. He's serviceable. So, and RD checking in to quote Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. It's Chiefs until proven otherwise. I see where, I mean, I can't argue that. I mean, obviously they've made the Super Bowl the past 4 years, I think. Two of those, you can't argue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, they didn't get the three-peat.
No,
Calm
they
down.
did not get the three-peat. The three-peat still belongs to the Birmingham Stallions of the UFL. But anyways, let's talk about the Colts.
Different. It's just not the same. You talk about the Colts.
Who added motherfucking Dan Jones.
We're calling him Dan Jones. So he's going to be good for the Colts?
I think so. I think this is
Daniel Jones isn't showing up?
No, I think this is a good. Dell might be out all of 2025 season. Yeah, that was a bad knee injury. I think this is great because it's either going to push Anthony Richardson to be the quarterback that he can be, or Daniel Jones is going to come in. And I think Daniel Jones is better than people give him credit for. On they did sign Cam Bynum and cornerback Javarius Ward. They focused on that defensive backfield, adding $120 million in contracts between the cornerback and safety signing there. So obviously they felt good about those guys, and they felt like they needed to kind of upgrade there. Now, their biggest question, kind of what I just said, can Anthony Richardson, son of Richard, succeed as an NFL quarterback? Or is this going to be Daniel Jones's team? And with the wide,
I noticed you went back to, this is bothering me because you came in saying he's showing up as Dan Jones.
He's Dan Jones.
Which we all, if he's Dan Jones, then he's performing well.
Cody saying,
is that more than serviceable?
He's more than serviceable if he becomes
if
Dan
he is
Jones.
Daniel Jones, is he just serviceable?
Yeah, I think so.
I hate this. Anyway. Now you're switching back to Daniel Jones.
Sorry, Dan Jones. He's Dan Jones until further notice.
Decide how well he's going to do for this team?
He's going to do awesome. I do not agree with Cody, a rich quarterback one in fantasy. And I think Daniel Jones with Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman is going to succeed. I know he gets a lot of shit, but that Giants organization was kind of a mess, right? And I would also like to once again flash back to 2022 when Fields was the 6th ranked quarterback. Dan Jones was the 9th ranked.
So they're both having a comeback.
Yeah, you're with me now. You're with me. She's following. Fields and Jones coming back. For draft needs, the Colts need a tight end. I think there's a lot of talk they could get one in the first round. I mocked one to them in the first round. The guard, they could use guard, edge rusher, linebacker, safety. I mean, they still got some time. Jamie saying when Danny Dimes starts fire up Downs, he targeted Wandale about 14 times a game, and Downs is a way better version of that little person. Can you say midget in 2025? The
midget?
Imp.
The imp? Oh my gosh.
No, I agree. I agree with you, Jamie. I think Dan Jones can make this team better. And I know Anthony Richardson has the size and he's got the rushing ability, but let's not forget Daniel Jones can run around too. He's sneakily athletic and he's like a 6'6" weirdo. So yeah, not a midget. The opposite of that.
Let's talk about the Jags.
All right.
I'm just going to cut you off.
That's fair. Probably a solid choice.
On offense, they signed offensive lineman Patrick McCarry and Robert Hainsley. On defense, they signed cornerback Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray. No huge name signings.
I know you read those and I go, who?
Like, but I guess
they're productive.
I don't know. They're
right. I mean,
serviceable.
They're serviceable. I don't know why your mind goes dirty with serviceable.
Stop. Nobody knows this, but they're going to know now. We had this long conversation about the word serviceable after our podcast last week.
It's not servicing.
But it's serviceable. I don't like it. Serviceable. Anyway. So these guys are serviceable.
Yeah.
Some big questions off of this. They had a terrible year last year. Are they going to bounce back? Is Trevor Lawrence still the guy?
I say no.
You say no.
I say nay. No. This is a guy, and this is why I was almost against the Bears. I mean, I was against the Bears drafting Caleb Williams because Trevor Lawrence was a guy where from his start of his freshman year, everybody's like, oh my God, this is the next quarterback in this great generation. He's the next Peyton Manning or blah, blah, blah. And he hasn't done shit. And that's what worried me about how much they were getting pumped up in with Caleb Williams. Cody pointing out that your head is always in the gutter.
Because I live with you.
Oh, I get blamed.
Yes.
I get blamed. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure how that works, but okay.
It does.
Let me talk about the Titans.
You've trained me.
I've trained you. Let me talk about the Titans.
I didn't draft needs.
Oh,
well,
draft
I mean,
needs.
let's talk about the draft
Sorry,
here.
yeah.
You know, I think that they've got to improve on their defensive line,
Yeah.
safety, wide receiver, a tight end.
Oh yeah, Evan Ingram's gone. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. He's gone.
Let's just not glaze over that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And maybe
Mhm.
they need some change. Do you want to know what I mean by that?
What?
If you gave them $1, you could keep most of the change because they just need a quarterback.
Oh my God.
Uh,
That was lame.
shout out to
That
the
was lame.
replacements. It's a cheer from the replacements. And Cody's saying, sure, that's why.
Mhm.
Jamie's saying he took Trevor Lawrence in a rookie draft. Could have had Jamar Chase. That hurts. That does hurt. Let me talk about the Titans here.
Yeah.
They added Dan Moore on offensive tackle, linebacker Cody Barton. I do like Cody Barton. But aside from that, it's pretty quiet for a team. A lot of needs. They have a lot of needs. So
They are serviceable.
they are not serviceable. And they have the number 1 pick in the draft. I think Will Levis is done as the starter for the Titans. No more mayonnaise eating Will Levis. And
Black bananas.
Black bananas. All the rumors are saying that they are going to take Cam Ward out of Miami. I think that would be a good fit for them. But who knows? It's the draft. I mean, wild shit happens all the time. So we'll
Mhm.
see. They need a quarterback, a wide receiver, an edge rusher, and a linebacker. They need some more pieces, but those are the main ones.
Yes. So let's break down this division here.
Yeah.
Texans.
Texans are leading it at 1 plus 100, even money, followed by Dan Jones and the Colts plus 330. Jaguars plus 320. Sorry, I guess Jaguars are next. And then Titans plus 800.
That's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Let's just you're really excited about I don't know how I like it, how I feel about it, but you're like really excited about Dan Jones.
So yeah, I am. The Colts were close last year to the
Mhm.
Texans. CJ Stroud did take that sophomore slump, that regression that I had talked about that you hated me talking about. And the Colts were kind of close. I think the Colts could be in play for this. I think these teams are going to maybe win. One's going to win 10 games. One is going to win 9. I can't
Mhm.
point right now to which is which. So I don't hate throwing one unit on the Texans because if you win, you get your unit back, a unit back plus a unit. And then a unit on the Colts. So then if either of those win, you don't lose money. You break even for the Texans, but you win a good chunk because the Colts are plus 330. That's how I would bet that. You obviously don't agree because you're out on Daniel Jones for you.
I didn't say he was Daniel Jones coming in. I just didn't know
Might as
you
well
were so
coulda.
like hyped about Dan Jones. Like,
Oh yeah. Rock
Oh, yeah.
hard hyped.
more hyped than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
More passionate about him.
More passionate about Dan. If he starts, the Colts might fuck it up and he might not even start. But if I was their coach, I would start him. Anthony Richardson, trade him away, get some collateral for that. Why not?
You're killing me. Let's
Talk about the
continue.
AFC West.
Yeah.
RD saying to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that starts with the Chiefs,
Mhm.
who traded away guard Joe Thuney to the Bears. They did sign offensive tackle Jalen Moore and cornerback Christian Fulton. Had some other small signings, but majority of it, their free agency was focused on re-signing guys. They
Yeah.
re-signed linebacker Nick Bolton. They re-signed Marquise Brown, edge rusher Charles Amenihu. Amenihu. I'll just keep saying it like you do.
Yeah. If you say it enough, you convince everyone that you're saying it correctly.
They re-signed wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think that's a big signing.
Mm-mm.
They did re-sign Kareem Hunt who I thought came in and played very well for when Pacheco was injured, and Pacheco did not look good once he came back from injury. Biggest questions for the Chiefs. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, you could say, can they keep performing like this?
Yes.
But if they have Patrick Mahomes and they have Andy Reid coaching them,
They're
going to keep performing
Yes.
like this.
Yeah.
The offensive line is going to look different. That's going to be my biggest question about them is if they can continue to have good offensive line play. But I don't know if it matters. This team is so good. Patrick Mahomes is good.
He makes everybody look good around him.
He does.
Those saying Bills for, our starting question, I think that's hopefulness.
I
because
don't.
it's
I
the
think this
Chiefs.
is the year that the Bills take them. They have
You
beat
think
them the
so?
past couple games. They just can't get past the playoffs and into that Super Bowl. I think
Chiefs
they
have
do.
no problem performing well,
I know.
performing above normal.
The Chiefs are the
playoffs.
opposite. Yeah, they perform.
They
Sometimes we get worried about them during the regular season. It's like they don't look
Do we,
great,
though?
even though they're still
Do we
winning.
really get
Well,
worried about them?
I guess not this last year. 2 years
Mm-mm.
ago, I was a little worried, and then they just really poured it on. But
Mhm.
they could use a guard to replace Joe Thuney. An offensive tackle. They could use some defensive line help. I could see them going after a running back too. The Chiefs don't care. They don't seem to care if a running back has done well for them. We've seen them cycle running backs pretty quickly. And I think Pacheco, with how he hasn't looked great, and Hunt being an older guy that I don't know if he's your guy you want carrying the ball all the time, I could see them going elsewhere at running back there.
All right. Broncos up next.
Broncos, yeah. Go for it.
They had a really quiet free agency, except they did get tight end Evan Engram.
They did, which should help. I think he's a good tight end.
Yeah, he is a good tight end. He was reliable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's weird. Like this quietness from them, from a team that like they need to stay competitive in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Yeah.
And here they are, just we'll take Evan Engram.
I mean, you got to play the Chiefs twice a year.
Yeah. Does Bo Nix take another step forward, or is he going to be, that sophomore regression in his sophomore slump here?
Nope. I'm a Bo lever, baby.
You're a Bo lever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I was all about, I know they're different, obviously, but Stroud not having that.
I was about to say, I feel like in your head, I just heard you go, but you weren't in Stroud. You weren't a believer in Stroud that second year. So the fact that you brought that up is quite funny. Yeah, I'm a Bo lever. I love this guy. I love his energy. I don't think he's going to take a step back.
All right.
Even though he was much better than I expected his rookie year, but I don't think he's taking a step back.
Well, I can tell you offensively, this team needs a running back. They need wide receiver help.
Yeah.
They need a center and a defensive tackle.
Yeah. They should focus on building around Bo on the offense. Like put as many weapons as you can around him. Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about the Chargers. The LA Chargers, who have Harbaugh his first year. He came in, did really, really good. Hunter, checking in real quick. Glad you guys are back doing live shows. Absolutely.
We are too.
And Josiah saying Bo Nix, baby. Just for a rundown, Hunter, we are going to do a little draft preview next week. Looking at the calendar next week, and then it's draft week.
I know.
So
it's already among us.
Yeah. Like the game or
no. What?
Well, you saw Josiah, you said Among Us. I thought you were talking about the game. Anyway.
The game?
Among Us. Don't you remember that? We played it with the Hoys.
Oh, is that with those people?
Well, yeah, but we played a live version, remember, at the cabin?
Yeah, that
was cool.
Yeah, never mind.
Anyways.
Okay. A live version, yes.
I'm diverting us too much. We'll probably do a pod reaction to the draft like we do every year, and have some drinks and stuff like that. And then we're going to be breaking it down the next week. So anyways, Chargers released Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins was a free agent, but they bring in Najee Harris, who feels like a Jim Harbaugh dude. They signed offensive lineman Mekhi Becton. cornerback Dante Jackson, and they re-signed Khalil Mack, who I was a little bit hopeful that he was coming back to Chicago. And he was close from all the rumors I've seen. He was close. And then right before the free agency opened up, Chargers extended him, re-signed him. So for the recap, they're kind of quiet except the rotations at running back.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest question for me, can Najee Harris be their
Najee.
guy? I mean, can he be that Harbaugh thumper? One thing you can say about Najee, I know in the fantasy world, he's a little frustrating because he has these great weeks, he has these terrible weeks, and he's inconsistent, but that dude runs hard. He runs with a lot of heart, and that's I think Harbaugh loves running backs like that. Now, I could also still see them adding one in the draft. Like I said earlier, it is a loaded running back draft class. So they might add a running back. They need wide receiver help. They need a tight end. They need defensive line help. That's where I see them going for their draft needs.
All right.
Why don't we talk about your Uncle Paul's favorite team?
The last team, too.
The Raiders.
So they have a new head coach. They've
They
got
do.
Pete Carroll from the Seahawks.
Old man Carroll.
And
What's his age now? Go on.
I keep track of my wide receiver ages and my tight ends. I do not care how old these coaches are.
73. I thought
Oh
he was
my
pretty
goodness.
old. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's getting up there. I would say offensively, the most notable addition is Pete Carroll trading for his former quarterback at the Seahawks, none other than Geno Smith.
Gino Bambino.
They've also added safety Jeremy Chin. And they are adding, with them adding, I guess I should say, Geno Smith. That's just the highlight of of their free agency.
Yeah, they didn't do a ton of other stuff
Carroll
right
and
now.
Geno.
Yeah.
Do you think he's enough?
No. No, I don't. I mean, I think I think he's solid, and I think he's a perfect bridge quarterback for them.
Here's my thing on this. Like, they had trouble competing in the NFC West.
Yeah, Gino and Pete Carroll, yes.
Yes, and now they get dropped into a much more difficult division.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, they kind of battled back and forth with the Niners and the 49ers. But they're not going to beat the Chiefs. They're not going to, be better than the Chiefs. They're not going to be better than the Broncos or Chargers, I don't feel like.
We'll see, I guess. I think in the draft, you mentioned it's a heavy running back class. They should be picking up a running back, be looking at wide receivers, a defensive tackle, cornerback.
Yeah, most people are projecting Boise State stud Ashton Genty to go there. I think that would be great for them. I think the Raider Nation would love him. He's such a hard runner. I could see him adding a quarterback too, that maybe a guy that they feel good about that needs development, because Gino knows what Pete Carroll wants to do. And so that could make him a good coach of a young guy. I could see it in like, hey, in 2 years, you can take over or something. Let's talk about this division betting.
What are the Chiefs at?
When I look at you, I can see the dog. So we're in my office. I can see the dog behind you, and she has positioned herself to look out the window. She has never done this for our podcast. And this whole time I have been nervous that she's going to see one of our neighbors on the road and just lose her shit.
It's a little, what time is it? My computer has not been changed since who knows what daylight savings.
It is 7:36.
Okay, my computer's wrong. It is that time of day where walking happens out on the road.
Hunter is a bow lever as well, and Josiah is hoping for Ashton Genty. He's going to be a stud regardless of where he goes. I mean, I was talking with Kramer, and he said, do you hope the Bears get Ashton Genty? It's like, kind of, but it's also with how loaded this class is, I'm sure there's going to be a better that we need if he's even there, because I think the Raiders take him. Anyways, division betting for the AFC West, we got the Chiefs at -125. Little surprised that that's not juiced more. The Bills are juiced to win their division. Now, I know the Bills have less competition. Sorry, Cody. than the Chiefs, but I'm a little surprised it's not juiced more. Chargers plus 310, Broncos plus 320, Raiders plus 3,000, another 30 to 1
Ooh.
with the Browns.
Raiders and the Browns.
I don't think minus 120.
Those are the worst in the entire NFL.
Right. I don't think minus 125 is too much juice for the Chiefs. You know, I don't think that that's too much to pay because they're likely going to win it. I mean, I don't see a world where they don't. Yeah. Oh,
I did want to, I feel like you're going to forget something. So I was going to circle back, but continue your thought.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, but if you wanted to wrap them up into a parlay.
Yes, I was going to bring up your parlay.
If you
I
want
want to know what this parlay is.
Okay. Chiefs, I think they're winning their division. Bills, I think they're winning their division. Ravens, I think they're winning their division. Lions, I hate to say it, I think they're winning our division. So now, sorry, I've switched over to NFC. And
so you're throwing an NFC.
Yeah, this is 5 teams. And if you don't want to throw this one in, then I think it's around 10 to 1. But I'm a huge believer in Baker Mayfield. I think that division is weak, and I think the Bucs are going to win it. Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Ravens, Bucs to win their divisions. Parlay that together 20 to 1. It's plus 2,002. Get an extra little 2 at the end there. But yeah, 20 to 1. And I like it. I see those teams winning unless
Are you doing it? Here's the question. Are you doing it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I already did it.
Well.
Yep. So free leg for a parlay, basically. Yeah, the Chiefs are a free leg. I agree. And I think the Bills and the Ravens are. I mean, you could argue, well, Bengals might bounce back, but I don't think so. I think that's still the Ravens division. So I think Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, I think those are free squares. And now you just need the Lions to do what they did last year, and you need the Bucs to do what they did last year. I think that's
like just shrugging. No biggie.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm shrugging it off. That's 20 to 1 that you're making. Anyways, anything you would like to add about the AFC? Who's your team?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. A rivalry going. I got the Bills. Best team in the AFC is going to be the Bills. You are kind of a Chiefs lover, though. Just saying.
I like winning.
I like winning. The Chiefs do too, but every dog gets its day. Should we talk about a little whiskey?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You sent me a beautiful photo and it didn't all fit in.
Oh, you butchered it.
It didn't all fit. That's not my fault.
It's your fault.
But we're talking about Sagamore Spirit Manhattan Finish Rye. And we got a little history on it. Did you want to talk about the history?
Yeah, you pop the cork.
Pop the cork. Pop it like
Stopper.
it. Can you start singing Pop It Like It's Hot for me?
No, just pop it. I want to hear it.
Oh, it wasn't as good.
Could have been better.
Hoping.
Could have been more suction on there.
Yeah, this bottle is sweet.
This is like
very unique.
If we want to talk about whiskey bottles, which I love talking bottles. This is not necessarily this one. I haven't seen their Manhattan Finish, but just the Sagamore Rye whiskey bottles always catch my eye when we're looking at whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a sexy bottle.
It is. That's something we were supposed to implement this year. We're going to go back on the ones we've already done, but we're going to get a little rating system going on. Okay. And bottle is going to be in the ratings. That's part of it. So
they did well on this bottle.
We'll do, so it's going to be out of each one will be 5 points, right?
Okay.
So best your highest score can be a 5. Bottle will be one of them, obviously.
You didn't get my input on this rating system.
Well, then maybe we'll revisit it.
But what is this? But no, I'm all on board. We talked about like doing some ratings, but yeah. So what are the 5 things?
No. There you score 5. There's 4 things. Nose. Yeah. Palate. How it is in an old fashioned, which I realize we're not doing that right now.
I did it. And that's on me because you were doing the UFL.
Yeah.
And I took
listen to her take some blame for once. No, I'm just kidding. It's usually, the graphic guy messed that up. Oh, you did that.
Okay,
wrong.
So time out. I was taking one for the team.
Not anymore.
I'm not now. You did not get, this has always been your job to get that part ready. So you didn't do that. You didn't prepare enough time with your UFL podcast to get that done. Do you see how differently that
Yeah, Josiah's saying that's a cool bottle. You
It
can-
is. I just like it. It's really
I don't
neat.
even know what you would consider this shape, but it's
And I
very
like the
uniquely
bottles
shaped.
where they have because it has Sagamore on the side and they're
Oh,
like
yeah. I
3
don't know.
diamonds, which is also on top of the stopper.
Yep.
It's just everything is well thought out about this bottle.
It is. I agree.
And the reason, so I will go back to taking the blame for why we're not trying this in an old fashioned. You were doing the UFL podcast. I was not able to discuss it with you, but because it is a Manhattan finish, I really wanted to see it on its own.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree.
then I had the question, like, would you make an old fashioned with a Manhattan finish or would you make a Manhattan with it?
Yeah, likely a Manhattan.
So
Like,
that's
but
why do you
So
see
maybe-
my thought process?
maybe even though it'll usually always be an old fashioned, but
Mhm.
we'll go nose, palate,
Palate.
mixed, how it is, how
In a
it stands out
cocktail.
in a cocktail, and then
In the
bottle.
bottle. All
Yeah,
right.
or presentation bottle, because label can bottles can look the
Labels-
same, but label can
But the
really pop
label,
it.
yes.
Yeah. So it'll be like the presentation, the bottle label. Yeah.
Presentation. I like this. Okay.
Okay.
See,
And
well,
best of 5 in each.
sorry for everyone listening to us go through this. We could have done this off the show.
Oh no, now they get to see a little behind baseball.
Behind baseball.
Yeah,
Behind baseball last week was serviceable.
serviceable. Yeah. All right.
After the show.
Let's talk about this. I'm gonna smell and taste.
Yes. So one moment, please.
Oh yeah. So Channing's in Canada, and they took all the American liquor out of the stores because of
No.
the tariff war that's going on. And aside from whatever side of the politics you fall on, I want to point out that that's really dumb because you're not hurting. This is not a good fighting tactic in a trade war, in my opinion, because you're hurting your own consumers who like American whiskey in Canada.
Mhm.
You're hurting these distilleries that they have nothing to do with what's going on. And 26% of Crown Royal was purchased in America. Like if America did this and took that huge market away from Canada, now you're hurting your own distilleries. Like I don't get it. It's
Yeah.
disappointing though.
Everybody needs
Not to
need
mention
to share the whiskey
and
freely.
not to mention I saw stores
Mhm.
taking it off their shelves, and now you're hurting yourself because you've already paid for that whiskey. That store has already paid for that.
Mhm.
I don't think it was a very very good political move, no matter what side you're on. That doesn't
There's
make
so
sense
many,
to me.
I don't know, a lot of reactions, and I don't. We're not doing politics. Keep me out of it.
Let's talk
'Cause
about
I can't
Sagamore
do it.
Rye.
It stresses me out. I get so stressed. That's not a stress I need. Taking it off the table for myself. So Sagamore Rye, their Manhattan finish. It's made at Sagamore Spirit in Baltimore, Maryland. Which have we done in Maryland?
I don't
I
believe
don't think
so.
we have.
No.
So Sagamore is driven to craft the world's best rye whiskey. That's what they're
Their words.
like their
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
I have opinions. I haven't even tried their whiskey and I already have opinions. And boosting their community, it includes partnerships with Maryland agricultural community and working with local farmers for all the grain and rye that they use. One of the things I really like when we were looking into their history and their background and, where they get their grains, how they make their whiskey, is that they really value their local, like, farm to table product. They actually buy the seeds themselves for the farmers who
Yeah.
then plant the seeds that Sagamore has given them and,
Which is
grow
really
it,
cool.
and then they buy that back from them.
No
But-
upfront cost to the farmer is
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah, and they've planted more than 1.1 million pounds of rye in 2023 and 2024.
It's a lot of rye.
That's a lot of rye. And then
Because I don't know if you've picked up sorry to interrupt you.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've picked up I know we don't have rye growing out here, but let's say you just picked up a wheat. Wheat does not weigh much. Rye does not weigh much. To get to 1.1 million pounds, that's a lot.
It's a lot of rye. It
Anyway,
takes
sorry.
a lot of grain to make.
No, I know.
spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, they also use water that is proofed with pure limestone filtered water from their spring house that was built in 1909, which 1909 is on the bottle.
Yes.
I had always wondered, what's that?
Yep. Their spring house.
Mm-hmm. And then Sagamore rye whiskeys, they've earned more than 200 awards internationally, including World's Best Rye Whiskey in 2019 at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Their distillery is also I would like to go here. It's located right on the water at the Baltimore Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
They're open 5 days a week for hour-long guided tours and tastings. You can do cocktail classes there and, of course, shopping. You can get a drink at their whiskey bar, the 1909, Thursdays through Saturdays. And they also have a monthly summer concert series called Whiskey on the Waterfront. This just sounds like a really fun distillery.
Yes, absolutely.
I like to see distilleries that do offer more than just the tours.
Yeah.
That have, I think you bring in more people, and it's a neater experience. Like when you can do things like cocktail classes and then they bring in the live music.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and sipping some whiskey while you're listening to some tunes on the water, getting that fresh air, that's perfect.
On the peninsula.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes. One other thing, maybe people picked it up from what the history there. But you know me, and I like my ryes.
Yeah.
They only do ryes.
Yes.
It is rye.
Rye
so,
only.
Obviously,
which I believe is
rye, but
the only distillery we've done so far that only does ryes.
Yeah, because everyone else I would like to get them on our show personally, but any other
I'll see what I can do. I'll have our PR guy get on it.
Okay. But yeah, everyone else, they do a bourbon, they do an American style whiskey, they do their rye, they, all these different things. But you're only getting rye, so it's all gonna have the spice and the flavor. And
yeah.
1 second, I am slow. Maybe you should take control with the new streaming.
My mom's because it pops up in a different spot, so it's hard to find it. My mom's saying now I want to go to Baltimore. We do use that in our marketing pitch, Mom. I do let every distillery know that once we have a distiller on our podcast, my parents within the next couple years will likely visit your distillery.
Yes,
so
it is, and then you'll get even more PR.
Right. All right.
We just need to have your parents, the Mark's marketing team.
Yeah, there you go. Marketing team.
Anyways. Oh my gosh. Yes. So to go over some products they have their signature rye whiskey. They have a small batch rye, cask strength rye, double oak rye whiskey. Their reserve series contains bottled and bond rye whiskey, a 9-year rye, this Manhattan finish rye. They also have a limited edition series of Raven's Purple Rising, which is Sagamore rye. It's a Sagamore rye small batch.
Yeah.
They have a lot of past releases such as a port finish, sherry finish, rum cask finish, tequila. We've not done a whiskey with a tequila finish.
And I've wanted to. Cody Road does one. And I've been interested in that.
All right, we might have to revisit some Cody
Road
whiskey.
It's part of their experimental series, so it's very limited. But
we've done all of those others. I think, and they really do add these different finishes. Really does change the flavor profile and everything of the whiskey.
Yeah.
We tend to like our port finished whiskeys, and they're definitely more of a sipper.
Yeah. They got a sweetness to it, and
around a bonfire, fire pit table, whatever you want to do in the summer. I like rum cask finishes too. Yeah. Just going off of all these. We've not done them. This is our first Manhattan finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. What do you know how do they do that? How do they make it? So it is
their Manhattan finish rye is their 4-year straight rye whiskey. It's finished in vermouth, bitters, and cherry brandy barrels for an additional
cherry brandy
30 months. So a year and a half? No, 2.5 years. 2.5. I can do math.
It would be 2.5.
Then I was thinking, 30, like
Yeah.
24 plus. Yeah, never mind. We're done.
All right, we're done.
I see you. Yeah, you're scared. It's fine. Then they blend it all back together to create the Manhattan finish blend. It can be, used to make a Manhattan or enjoy it on its own, as they recommend either. Obviously, I don't think there's a wrong way to drink whiskey.
Well,
And
the right way to drink whiskey is how you like it.
Yep. So I really wish that if we had planned ahead enough to make, I've never made a Manhattan. You have.
Yeah.
It's been a while because, us and our old fashions, but I really wish we would have made it a Manhattan and had this in it during the show right now.
Yeah.
The 2025 release of it is available at the distillery in Maryland and across Maryland stores, but you'll find it elsewhere. What is this one?
I was actually just looking at that. It does not specify. It says batch 2B bottle 4937, so I'm sure we could look that up. Some places you can look it up, but there is not a date on it. Minus 1909, I do not think it is from then.
No, it's not. And then the one we are trying right now is a 103 proof.
Yeah. I just wanted to add real quick. They have a awesome online store, sagamorespirit.com. And I was taking a look at their merch and liking everything. They have a Bringing Back Rye t-shirt, which I thought of you too, because you love rye. And bourbon has this cult following of, I'm a bourbon snob, we only drink bourbon out of whiskey, but rye has made a big comeback.
You're missing, if you only stick to bourbon, which fine, you do you, but you're missing so much.
Yeah.
Enjoy both. Why can't you just enjoy both?
Yeah. They have a really cool deluxe rocks glass. They have something I also have not seen before. It's for traveling, and it's an inflatable bottle pouch. So, in your suitcase, you don't want to just throw your bottle in there. Well, it's a little pouch that you can then inflate and put your bottle in it to protect it, which is kind of cool.
So you're like, let's go travel to Maryland.
Exactly. We can fly back because we'll have our inflatable pouches. And if you got a dog like we do, she's getting a little impatient. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
But they have a Sagamore Spirit dog collar and a dog bandana.
We need the bandana.
We need to turn her into a whiskey dog model.
We have a bandana from
Keepers
and from
Balcones, yes.
And we need to get photos of her in
we do.
And
then
I'll work on that.
A Star is Born. They have a Sagamore Spirit pin. I know you like pins. It looks very much like the bottle. So I know you would like that. And I'm not a Baltimore Ravens fan, but they do have a Sagamore Spirit Raven t-shirt that is sweet. It's a raven on a whiskey glass. And it just looked really cool. But yeah, they got a lot of stuff in their shop. So check that out, sagamorespirit.com. No, they did not pay me or ask me to say any of that. They don't even know we're reviewing it. I just wanted to throw that out there. Should we do a little taste profile on this? Did you smell it already? Well, you didn't talk about what you smelled? Nothing.
Well, haven't you been drinking it?
Yeah, I have. But I didn't divulge what I was smelling or anything.
It smells like a Manhattan.
Yeah.
Cherry.
I was gonna say more cherry.
Very cherry.
More cherry. And then the taste, I get a lot of the vermouth, I feel like. Rye spice and vermouth. Cherry.
It's good though.
It is good.
So good.
Yeah.
We can't both drink.
But you didn't talk while I was drinking.
I know, because I was
no, this is very good. It's smooth, but not like
it has some heat.
No, I was just saying it was smooth. You're saying it's that heat. I don't get
you can have heat and be smooth.
I guess that's true. That's true.
It goes down smooth and then whoo.
See, I don't get the whoo. I'm not getting the whoo. But no, this is very good. I like it a lot.
It has a lot of flavor. There's so much going on in this.
There is. You
almost feel like you're drinking a cocktail.
Yeah. No, it's a little bit of if you wanted to put one cube in here, it would be almost just like a Manhattan
but it is not a red like an RTD. It's not
no,
ready to drink.
No, it's not
this
made
is
for
just
that.
Finished.
Yeah.
In all those barrels.
Yeah, it's still 103 proof, which your Manhattan would not be. But you get the nice rye spice. I get vermouth out of it. I'm trying to decide. It's almost a little on the sweet side of vermouth rather than a dry vermouth, I would say. And then
There-
that cherry
mm.
finish. the
Well,
cherry
I would
brandy comes up.
definitely, when you smell it, it hits you. The cherry hits you.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
This is interesting. Again, we've never done Manhattan finished whiskey.
No.
So
No,
this is
This
good.
is good. I don't know if there are very many Manhattan finished
Mhm.
whiskeys. This may be a one of a kind type of deal. I'm not sure. But no, it's very good. Very
It
good.
is.
Yeah. I think that's what we had on the AFC. That's what we had on our Sagamore Spirit, which we
Mhm.
highly recommend if you can find it. I mean, I don't know what their normal.
I know. I really
is
want to try
like-
their normal. We're doing like a specialty one, and we haven't had their normal, which
Yeah.
is I'd like to get them on the show. It'd be fun to
Yeah,
see if we
absolutely.
can do something like collab with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to have him on the show. Otherwise, we'll be back next week. We're going to be talking some of these draft players, and I'll throw in a little draft props because why not?
Mhm.
And yeah, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we get up on out of here?
I don't.
Oh,
What
no. What were you going to say? I don't what?
did you read my mind?
I think so.
about the whiskey.
The upcoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I did. read
One
your
of the
mind.
things we're really gonna hold ourselves accountable for and be better at is posting in advance our upcoming roster of whiskeys.
Yeah, and Mir has been promoted to the whiskey picker for the month.
I am and I've
And you-
already picked Maze.
I know you gave it all to me, and I completely forgot to get it out on our socials. But next week is Buffalo Trace,
Yes.
which, if you have not heard or seen, Buffalo Trace is
Mhm.
underwater. They're flooded. So do what you can to support them. It's a sad time. Hopefully they bounce
Mhm.
back. I'm sure they will, but it still sucks to see, and all the families that live around there that are also dealing with the flooding. Hopefully everybody's
Mhm.
okay. But yeah, we'll be doing Buffalo Trace.
Trace. The following week, we've had this bottle for a while because I believe it was our buddy Nick sent us a photo that he got a bottle of it, and we were like, "Oh, Costco's
Oh yeah,
old
yeah,
fashioned."
yeah. They're RTD old fashioned.
We're gonna try it. I'm not usually. It's hard to impress me with the ready to drinks. Some have done it.
This is gonna be great though.
I just don't
It's-
know if
we're-
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna ask the question: is the Kirkland / Costco RTD old fashioned
Old-fashioned.
worth it?
Yeah, because we were sent a photo of it, and it took a little bit for Des Moines to get it
Yeah,
after we saw it.
yeah.
So, oh my goodness, there's our OChem or chemistry or something. What is this? Chemistry.
Some sort of problem that Josiah's working on. What is the molarity
I
of the
feel your
NaOH
pain.
solution?
Chemistry and
5.
OChem were my. I mean, I just
I'm pretty sure just
did
looking
not
at it,
like
the answer's 5.
what?
The answer's 5.
No.
Um,
But when I had to take chemistry and organic chem, all that, those were some stressful times.
stressful
So I feel your
times.
pain.
All right, we need to get up on out of here. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Like we said, showing up to these shows or listening on Spotify / Apple, great ways to support us. If you need some swag, we got swag. We got shirts. We got sweatshirts. We even got a good old bucket lid, trucker cap there. So yeah, if that's another way you can support us. We don't get any financial kick from that, but it tells the guys like, hey,
It helps
this
the
show's so
network.
good. Yeah, it helps the network, first of all, because all free content, obviously. And then it also tells them like, hey, we like this show so much, we want to wear it. So
Wear us, please.
yes, please wear us. It sounds like a weird plea. Miranda,
You're welcome.
my Manhattan Finish Sagamore Spirit Rye is almost gone. How about yours?
No, it's not. I'll be working on it.
You'll be
but it's
working on it.
good.
All right, going once, going twice.
Sold.